Hola mi gente, welcome back to Cat and Too Many Books. I'm Kat, and I am here to talk about what I am going to be reading in the month of March.
That girl said month of March. We're in January, so what I'm gonna be reading in January.
Taking it from Jen, from Jen's Reading Life, who I adore. I think she's amazing. If you've never seen her, please follow. I'll link her below. I would like to start calling these not TBRs but possibilities because I am a huge mood reader and sometimes I don't feel like it. And sometimes I don't feel like reading the ones that I said I'm going to read. So I'm going to talk about 12 books that I would like to possibly read in January. So they are my January possibilities. There will be 3 of these that I will 100% read, because I am doing them for a one for a reading challenge, one for a readathon, and one for a book club that I am doing. So let me go ahead and talk about those that I'm reading for those things first, and I'll again link down below the reading challenge, the readathon, and the book club that I am in. It is an Instagram book club that I am in. So let me start with what we are reading for January. So I am going to participate in the Jane Newary readathon or read along that Jen from Jen's Reading Life has started, and we are reading my favorite. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not put it at the top of this pile of books, but now it is. We are reading my favorite one of my 2 favorite Jane Austens, and that is Persuasion by Jane Austen. This beautiful cover I just literally got for Christmas. I saw it at Books A Million, and it is the Cranford collection. All of the Jane Austens have very similar looking, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And I have bought 4 out of the 6. I am hoping to buy the other 2 eventually. It's gorgeous. I love them. Anyway, so we will be reading Persuasion by Jane Austen. If you don't know what Persuasion is about, it is about Anne, who is a spinster. She lives with her dad and takes care of her dad. Her dad and sister aren't very nice. And she was in love when she was very young with a young man who was not of the same sort of class as she was. And she was persuaded not to marry him, and he went off. And it's about his return and how Anne feels. And I would not like to give any more out. If you haven't read Persuasion, I very highly recommend it. And it's one of my very favorite heroines that Jane Austen has ever written. So I will be reading this for that readathon. I will also be reading, bear with, I had to bend down to get this. I will also be reading, because part of it is to read a nonfiction. I was so happy because this is a nonfiction I have been trying to get myself to read for a really long time. And that is Jane Austen at Home by Lucy Worsley. I've actually bought the physical book. It's not here yet. It's supposed to get here today or tomorrow, so I'll have it to read. But I also got it on Kindle Unlimited because, like I said in one of my previous video, I got myself a Kindle Unlimited account finally. So I got it there so I could start reading it now. So I'm very excited. I love Lucy Worsley. I read one of her books that had something to do, I don't remember, it was about history. Obviously she writes really well about history, the history of homes. I can't remember the name of the book right now, but she's a wonderful writer. And I would really like to read this particular story, nonfiction, which is kind of talking about Jane Austen's life through the places that she lived and her homes and things like that. So very interested, very happy to finally be able to find an excuse, I guess, to finally read that. The second thing that I will be reading, which is going to be for Books and Lala's Kayla's buzzword challenge of the year. For January, her buzzword is truth or lie. So you need to find a book that in the book title has truth or lie or a variation of truth or lie. So I actually picked 2 books because, like I said before, I am a mood reader. So I may not be in the mood to read one, but maybe I'll be in the mood to read the other. So I'm not sure which one I will be reading, but I have 2 that have truth in it. So I might read, one of the possibilities that I have is This Much Is True by Miriam Margolyes, who I think is hilarious and amazing and such a fantastic woman. I love the rep for queer women that she gives. I think she's amazing and honest, like sometimes harshly so, but I love it. So this is her sort of memoir, I guess, autobiography memoir that she just, I think, put out last year or the very beginning of this year, possibly. But yes, so very excited. I'm going to be reading this, possibly, if I am in the mood. So this is one of my possibilities for the buzzword for the month. And then the second one I have is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, which is a thriller that was making the rounds earlier this year, and a lot of people said it was really, really good. I don't think I've ever read a Lisa Jewell one before, so I'm kind of excited to read it and see if I like it. I believe this is about a woman who has, so it's told in podcast form, so I may actually get the audiobook for it because I feel like sometimes books written in podcast forms, it's better to listen to them. I don't think the whole book is a podcast, but I think it begins with a podcast talking about possibly the death of one of these women. And then you go into it, and one of the women, Alex, crosses paths with a woman named Josie Fair. And they're both 45 and they're birthday twins. And then they find out they have a lot of things in common. And it starts getting very kind of creepy and thrillery. That's all I really know about it. I've been very good about keeping myself out of any real spoilers. So that's for my buzzwordathon. And then the final one is for my Instagram, which right now I cannot remember what the name of the book club is. That's terrible. I will put it right here. That's Book Club on Instagram. We are reading Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, which is a YA fantasy. I'm not a big YA reader, to be fair, but it's for the book club, so I thought I'd give it a chance. Got it from the library, obviously. So yeah, I'm very excited to kind of give it a go. It's got dragons in it. So it's about Annie and Lee and a brutal revolution that changed the world, giving everyone, even the lowborn, a chance to test into the governing class of dragon riders. So it's about dragon riders. And I guess a revolution. Sounds kind of neat. It'd be something new for me. I mean, I like fantasy. I'm just not, that would actually be something I'd like to read more of this year, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, possibly could be good. Could not be. Again, giving myself permission to DNF. So even if it's for a book club, if I don't like it, I will be DNFing. I have 7 more books that I am going to possibly read in January. There is one that I will definitely also read. So goal is to read those 4 books right this month so that I can get all those challenges done. But there's one more that I will be reading because I am already 2/3 through it. I made this video a little late. I'm reading Death at the Manor by Catherine Shellman. It is a Lily Adler mystery. It is book number 3. I love it. Lily is a woman in the 19th century. She's a widow whose husband she's just kind of coming through the grieving of her husband, who she loved very, very much. He was a soldier. That he didn't die at war. I think it was, I don't know if it feels like something like cancer. And he passed away, and she's been grieving for a long time, and she moved back to London, and on her return, like the first weekend she's there's like a murder at a friend's house, and she ends up kind of investigating and sort of helping out figure who it is. And that's the premise. She keeps helping out. What I really like is there's some really great, I love her. I actually really think she's great. And I also love her friend group. She's got 2 friends that she's very close to, Captain Jack and Ophelia, and they're both kind of awesome. And Captain Jack is but he was best friends with her husband. And then Ophelia is based off of a real person too. I read that in one of the books. Ophelia is. This is I love this. It's kind of a cozy mystery set in the 19th century. So Death at the Manor is, she goes to visit her two aunts who are a couple. There's a murder in their sort of town, and Lily doesn't want to leave until she figures out who the murderer is, because she's afraid of leaving her aunts with a murderer walking free. So and there's like a little bit of a ghosty thing going on. People think they're seeing a ghost in the manor, and anyways, love it. I'm not always a big romance person, but there's like a little romance brewing between Lily and Captain Jack, and I'm loving that. Super slow burn. I feel like if you ever read Rihanna Dearborn, Tiana Rayborn's, oh my gosh. My lord, what is going on with my brain today? You know what I'm talking about. I will also put it up here. My brain's not working today. That it's very similar to that in terms of like the slow burn. There's also another gentleman in the story that she, I guess, has an interest in. I'm hoping this triangle ends up on my side, because the gentleman is nice. I'm not a fan. Okay, I don't want to talk about this because this is gonna go too long if I keep going. Anyways, this is the one I'm reading right now. I am 2/3 through it. I should be finished with this actually probably by tonight. So I will definitely read this month. All right, I'm gonna go through the next possibilities because I took forever talking about that. I'm sorry. I will stop. I am going to be reading volume 5 of Spy vs. Family. That's them right there. It's really cute. I love it. It's one of the few mangas that I read. I love it. So this is volume 5. All right. The next one I just literally saw and I thought it looked really cute. It's called Lightning in Her Hands by Raquel Vasquez, I think Gilliland. So it's like a fake dating story. Teal. I think the boy's name is Carter. Yeah. So Teal Flores has this ability to control weather, or she has the ability to control weather, but she can't actually control it. She doesn't know how to do it. And so she's trying to find her mom to try to figure out how to do that. And the gentleman, Carter Vasquez, I think is his name, his grandma won't let him inherit unless he's married. So they get into a fake relationship, basically. She needs a date to her ex's wedding. He needs to pretend to have a fiance. They decide, okay, we'll do that and start fake dating, and then of course kind of fall in love. In the process, he's trying to help her find her mother so that she can figure out how to reign her magical abilities. So it seems kind of fun. I don't always love romances, but it's magical, so I feel like that might be something I would really like. Plus, I really like fake dating. I really do. It's like my second favorite. I think my first favorite is Friends to Lovers, actually. My second favorite trope is fake dating. I always love fake dating. Fake marriages that turn into real love. That's one of my favorite things. So yeah, I'm very excited to read it. Again, it is Lightning in Her Hands by Raquel Vasquez Gilliland, and I've not ever heard of this author before, so I don't know if this is a debut, but I'm kind of actually excited to read this one. Okay, so the next one I got, some of you might know this. It's from the Rose Hill series. I'm gonna be honest, I've not read any of the other 2 previous ones. I don't know if I have to. I might, but I really liked the cover of this, and I really liked the premise of this, so I thought I'd give it a go. It's Wild Eyes by Rosie Silver. By Elsie Silver. Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. The Rose Hill. It's part of the Rose Hill series. And it's talking about, I think, Weston Belmont, which I think he's featured in some of the other books, maybe, or part of the other books. I don't know. And the girl's name is Skylar Stone. She is a singer who's just going through a really tough time, and decides to, I don't know, if just retire for a while or something. She runs away to wherever this is. Is it Montana? Wherever this is. I don't know. And meets Weston and is sort of like falls in love with him. And I think he has a child. And starts to build a life. And then it's like her past kind of comes back and she has to decide what she really wants. And he's supposed to be really cool, really awesome. And I've heard really good things about this writer and the previous books. But I didn't really want to go back and start the series because it's like, I don't know. I just thought this and thought it would be great. Yes, I'm starting in book 3. Maybe I'll regret that. Maybe I won't. I don't care. But anyway, this sounded like a good book. I'm going to try and give it a go. See if I like it. If I don't, remember, this is the year for DNFing. Give me a moment. The next one I have, so I was in Chicago recently and I saw this at the Chicago library. So I immediately put it on hold for here from my home library. It's called Rules for Ghosting by Shelley J. Shore. This sounded so much fun. It is about Ezra, who sees ghosts while growing up in a funeral home. So it's very complicated. And then, of course, it's his grandfather's ghost gives him a lot of scathing looks of disapproval because he's going through a second HRT-induced puberty. And so obviously his grandpa is awful. And he runs away from his family, but like he loses his dream job. His mom uses Passover to tell everyone she's running off with the rabbi's wife. So he has to come back and take care of the family memorial chapel. And he meets somebody named Jonathan. He's the funeral home volunteer and kind of starts to fall in love. And then I guess Jonathan's gone too soon husband Ben sort of starts showing up. So he's starting to see Ben and it gets very complicated, I guess. I don't know. It sounded like a lot of fun. I'm not making it sound like a lot of fun, but it did sound like a lot of fun. So I thought I would give it a go. I'm going to pull off the little library things real quick before I do this. I was not prepared. I should have been. Misery Hates Company by Elizabeth Hobbs. It's a Marigold Manors mystery. Girl Marigold, whose I think parents passed away, and she ends up having to go upstate to go live with some family, and she basically is a burgeoning detective. Some weird stuff is happening in the town, and she decides, I think she's actually an archaeologist as well. Like her interest, and she's studied to be an archaeologist. So losing, I think, her family, when her family dies, she's kind of destitute, so she can't pay to go to school anymore. And so she decides to go live with some relatives that live upstate. I feel it was like somewhere like Massachusetts or something. But yeah, this is set like in the 1800s, so the 19th century. So she goes up to live with some family, and there's some she makes herself sort of indispensable a little bit, but there's some weird stuff happening in the town, and she has to kind of figure it out. So it's like a cozy mystery kind of thing. So I like those. I like giving those a chance. Giving that a chance. And then the last one I have is the Author's Guide to Murder, written by Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig, and Karen White. So I'll read this. There's been a sensational murder at historic Castle Kinloch, a Gothic fantasy of great granite on a remote island in the Scottish Highlands. Literary superstar Brett Safran Presley, what a name, has been found dead, under bizarre circumstances, in the castle's tower's book-lined study. Years ago, Presley acquired the castle to lure paying guests with a taste for writerly glamour. Now it seems the castle has done him in, or possibly one of the castle's guests has. Detective Chief Inspector Ewan McIntosh, a local with no love for literary Americans, finds himself with the invaluable task of extracting statements from 3 American lady novelists. The prime suspects are Kat Denoir, a slinky erotica writer, Cassie Pringle, a southern mom of 6 juggling multiple cozy mystery series, and Emma Endicott, a New England blue blood and author of critically acclaimed historical novels. The women claim to be best friends writing a book together, but their stories don't quite line up, and the detective is getting increasingly suspicious. Why did the authors really come to Castle Kinloch? And what happened the night of the Great Kinloch Solidic when Brett's Safran Presley skipped the dancing for a rendezvous with death? A crafty locked room mystery, a pointed satire at the literary world, and a tale of unexpected friendship and romance. This novel has it all, as only 3 best-selling authors can tell it. So I guess they each write the characters they each get one of the characters, and maybe they write that character's perspective. I don't know. Sounded really interesting, kind of fun. So I picked it up. Okay. God, this is so long. I'm so sorry. This is a really long one. I really wanted this to be short. Ugh. I will try to edit this down. Thank you guys for coming in. Please share in the comments what you're going to be reading in January. What are your possibilities? And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Please subscribe if you want to. Comment and like. And again, hopefully we'll see you very soon. Bye.